Ooh, witchy woman, she got the moon in her eye.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. And in the last podcast, we talked about manifestation and what did I say? Not necessarily tips, but
the truth.
The truth of manifestation.
What it really is.
But now we're going to kind of touch on like shadow work and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And how we want to live in a cottage with squishy moss in the forest.
Mm-hmm. Basically, okay, shadow work. I feel like shadow work is like, what I always think about it as personally is like self-therapy. I don't know, there probably is like a way better way to explain that, but that's always how I think of it. I'm actually going to look up like shadow work questions, but when I do my shadow work is like a daily thing. And it's not something that you necessarily...
It's something you do on the daily?
It's something I do every day, but it's not like I sit down and do it every day. It's almost like where I say like with manifestation, like how you're doing it all the time. Like I check myself all the time. So, and just in general, I'm pretty honest with myself. I don't hold things in a lot, like ever. I might not show parts of myself, but like I always like let it out. I'm not afraid to cry. Not afraid to cry in front of people. Like,
as you shouldn't be.
Whatever. Yeah. Be. Like, so I have that shit like kind of down packed. So like I'm constantly like letting my emotions do what they want to do. So I kind of keep up on it. So I don't really have a lot to do. But there's always like, things that you can work on. So I'm looking up shadow work questions just so I can like kind of give you an idea of like what shadow work is, because I really don't have the best explanation of it. Like I said, I feel like it's self-therapy, but one question example is, what emotion do you try to avoid feeling the most? How do you typically react when you feel this question or feel this emotion? Another one is, what negative emotion do I feel the most comfortable with? Do I cling to this emotion because it feels normal? Like, it's very much like
that's
checking.
Some in-depth. It is like
very,
therapy,
that's what I'm saying. It is very much being real with yourself. And and that's why I think a lot of witches say that you cannot be doing witchcraft if you're not doing your shadow work, because it's like, they go hand in hand, because the craft that you decide to do is going to be connected to the work that, like, your shit, if you don't do your shadow work. So, like, for example, if I had a Friends with Benefits thing, like, in the fall. Mm-hmm. And it ended, and I was, like, kind of sad about it. And I was like, did I like this person? Like, did I, like them? Yeah. And I asked myself that multiple times on multiple different occasions, like, multiple days later, like I kept asking myself, I kept being like, it's okay if I do, like, but do I? And I came to the conclusion that I didn't, but I just was sad that like the friendship kind of was over, because it kind of had to be, because they like started dating somebody, and I'm not gonna like why would I stay around, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh yeah, that was fun, and I'm sad that it's over, but I don't have feelings for them. And I was able to comfortably do that. However, there was a situation where, like, maybe I did, and that could be, like, something that I need to work through. And if I had not worked through that, it could come out in, like, a different way.
Different ways, yes.
And everybody's different, but there's a lot of people that I feel like it would come out in a way of, like, okay, well, I just need to find something else to fuck. Like, I wasn't, like, I just was like, oh, that was fun. Like, I was like, whatever. Like, that was fun. It's sad that it's over, but, like, it was fun. And what did I learn from it? And, like, I'm always trying to make everything almost, like, a learning opportunity. I don't think that's a part of shadow work. I think that's just something I do. But another example is, like, is your inner voice kind or critical? What are things that it says to you most often? Like, I don't think people understand. I'm super, like, I think it definitely has a lot to do with me being an only child and having a lot of time alone. But I'm super, like, I would say I am friends with myself.
Right, yeah.
But
as you should be.
There are people that aren't connected to themselves, like, at all. So, like, they have thoughts, and they let kind of thoughts control them, whereas, like, I have thoughts, and I'm like, oh, why did that come up? You know what I mean? Like, you know, right. So they're, like, they might have a thought that's like, oh, I'm angry seeing this guy with this girl. like,
But
fuck that girl.
Yeah.
But it's like, are you asking yourself why you're angry about that? You know what I mean? Like, why is that bothering you? I always try to get to the root of what I'm feeling, because a lot of emotions, I mean, not a lot, but, like, there are certain emotions that are, like, super big that are secondary emotions. Like, they say anger is a secondary emotion. Like, you're always feeling something before you feel anger.
Yeah, I heard that, but...
Yeah, and it's not, like, you're never just angry.
Right.
Like, there's always, like, there's always something behind it.
But if you're not aware, you're going to think that anger is your first emotion. Because you're not stopping to think, why am I angry?
And that's why a lot of guys, like, because society raises men to just be like, you're not allowed to feel sad or whatever. Right. So instead of feeling sad, they channel anger. And that's why they're punching holes in walls at the age of 15, because nobody taught them how to, like, just say that they're upset about something.
Right.
So, shadow work is really just digging deep into yourself. Like, dig into the depths of yourself. Ask yourself the uncomfortable questions. If you don't know what to ask yourself, I would literally just say look up shadow work questions. And you don't have to do it every day. But this is why I say, like, it's not something I sit down and do every day. It's something I sit down and do sometimes. But it's something I kind of, like, practice naturally almost. So it's like when I'm feeling an emotion, if I'm feeling angry, I'm like, how can I regulate this right now? Why am I feeling this right now? What about this situation triggered me? What situations in general? Because I kind of take it as it comes. So if there's a day where nothing really happens, I'm not, like, doing shadow work.
Yeah.
If there's a day where I'm, like, upset and feeling certain emotions, I'm, like, asking myself why, and I'm regulating myself and trying to come down from it. Whereas you can have a day that's, like, completely normal and nothing goes wrong, but you can sit down and, like, look up shadow work questions and be like, what situations trigger me? Or, like, what are things that I'm uncomfortable with and why am I uncomfortable with them? And just, like, kind of digging deep down into yourself, because a lot of people, even though I feel like it comes natural for me, a lot of people, it doesn't come natural for them. So it's like, you have to, like, dig and, like, ask yourself these questions. One, it's just important for your own mental health, but two, if you're going to do any kind of, like, spirituality, like, work, like, you have to get this shit out of the way first, because it's a block. It's going to block everything. You're going to do shit for the wrong reasons. You're not going to understand why you're doing shit. I mean, you know, if you're just doing something out of spite really fast and you don't have, like, a real reason, like, whatever, right? So it's like... It's something you really just have to, like, work on.
It is. It really is so hard, because it's so hard to not let your emotions control you. Yeah. You want to make sure you have control over your emotions, but it is easier said than done. Like, seriously, it's so hard. Like, it's so easy to just react with anger or with any emotion.
But ask yourself and see why. Because, like, there's even, and it's gotten to a point where it's like, and I'm not saying this is healthy, but it's gotten to a point where I ask myself questions so much that I start asking myself questions about other people. Like, I'll be like, oh, but it is kind of, it almost kind of turns you into, like, it gets you, like, empathetic. Because, like, when, like, people come at me with anger, I'm like, oh, there's something behind this. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, this isn't empathetic. I'm like, this isn't about me. And it doesn't make them right for, like, taking something out on me.
No, but
like, it's still fucked up, but, like, I'm understanding that it's not about me in this moment. No. Like, I'm not like, oh, I did something wrong. I'm just like, okay, this person's dealing with something. Yeah. And I'm going to let them handle it, and I'm not going to let them take it out on me. I'm like, okay,
and they'll realize they're being shitty later.
Exactly. And I feel like it's a whole, and that whole mentality and shit like that, I mean, it comes with spirituality, witchcraft too, but I got a lot of it from, like, yoga and, like, meditation practices. I feel like taught me how to do that naturally. So, like, when I found out about shadow work, I was like, oh, what is that? Like, I need to start doing that. But then I was like, oh, I already do that, like, all the time. So it's like, it is something, it could definitely, I could see how it could probably be really hard at first if you've never even asked yourself, like, questions like that. I ask myself negating questions all the time. If I'm really sure of something, I'm always like, are you sure? Yeah. Like, I'm always like, bitch, are you
question sure? Yourself
but not in a bad way where it's like I'm second guessing myself. It's more of just like, ask yourself genuinely, like, do you actually feel this way? Yeah. Or are you just saying it? And then I think about it and I wait a minute. I'm like, no, I actually feel this way. And then the next time, like, an emotion arises, I'm like, okay, do I feel this way? Or, you know, like, I ask myself a lot. So I think shadow work is important. I think a lot of people, again, with, like, the craze of witch talk, a lot of people, like, nobody really talks about shadow work, but everybody talks about manifestation and, like,
because everyone wants a quick fix.
Everybody wants a quick fix.
Our generation is so dependent on instant gratification.
It's so
and I am victim to it, honestly.
Me too.
But
it's
like,
so crazy, though, because
oh
it's
my God.
But it's annoying, too, because I see it, and I'm like, I see the benefits of this, but I also sound like a crazy person now when I'm like, oh, yeah, I practice witchcraft, because people think about, like, the people writing things like 360 times on a piece of paper.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm literally
like,
just, like, taking care of myself. Like, my witchcraft is, like, when I put on my skincare, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so beautiful. Like, I literally just, like, I live my witchcraft. And that's how it is. But shadow work is, I don't know. Shadow work, I feel like, is so slept on. It is so slept on, and I feel like it's because a lot of people are not comfortable being alone with their thoughts and not comfortable, like, addressing things hands-on, which is understandable, but also it's like you're never going to go anywhere if you don't, like, face these demons. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, which you got to look at them in the face.
Yeah. It's so sucky for me because I react on emotion because I've just done that since I was a kid. And it's so hard for me to be like, but I'm spiritual and I really want to be so zen. Like, that's what I strive to be. But I react on emotion. And it's not good emotion. Like, it's always anger.
It's hard.
Or
it's
like,
a practice.
It's so
it is
hard.
a practice. And you cannot beat yourself up. I think my number one advice is, like, do not beat yourself up for not being perfect. When you set an intention to be like, I'm not going to lash out at people, and then you lash out at somebody or you get angry, don't get mad at yourself. I think that's my number one thing, too, with, like, meditation is, like, so fucking hard, right? Because it's, like, it's almost like a paradox in the sense of, like, okay, meditation is, like, think of nothing, like, focus on or focus on one thing, right? And the minute you tell yourself to do that, every fucking thing comes into your mind, right?
You're, like, all of a sudden ADD.
And then you're like, I can't focus, I can't meditate, I'm not gonna meditate. But instead of getting mad at yourself, let yourself, I told myself, because somebody, like, posted something about, like, stop getting mad at yourself for not being able to, like, have a completely clear mind, because that's not what meditation is about. The practice of meditation is to practice coming from, like, a busy mind to a focus. So it's like, and that could be any focus. That could be, like, music. That could be, like, a spot on the wall. That could be, like, a visualization in your mind. There's so many different methods I even use. Like, I rotate through all of them. People imagine, like, clouds going by them. And to understand that your thoughts are not you, but you can observe your thoughts.
Yes.
Right? So when something comes up, like, you're meditating, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I cannot believe that happened at work today. That was so embarrassing. It's like, ooh, that came up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm still thinking about that. That's weird. Let it go. Let it go. Not let the situation go necessarily, but let the thought go. Understand that the thought came and now it's gone, and now you can just, like, focus on, like, just relaxing again, right? And then another thought comes up. It's, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Do I have this option, this option? Oh, okay. Well, I'm obviously a little bit hungry. Like, you know what? Like, moving along. And it might be, like, 5 minutes of your brain just going fucking berserk before you realize and can pull yourself back in. And that's when I started getting mad at myself, because I was like, oh my God, I wasted all this time. Because I was just like, but you're not. The minute you bring yourself back is, like, the first time you practice meditation. That's, like, the practice of bringing yourself back to the, like, awareness and your breathing and whatever is the practice of meditation. So the more that you go off track and are able to bring yourself back, the more you're practicing meditation. Instead of getting mad at yourself for going off track in the first place, bring yourself back, and then you've practiced. Like, that.
Yes.
That is, like, a huge part of it. But, yeah, meditation and shadow work are, like, huge things in witchcraft, and I feel like nobody talks about. And I feel like, because when I got into witchcraft, I wasn't just like, oh, like, I'm gonna make TikTok teach me. Like, I definitely use TikTok as a source, and still to this day I do.
It's a good source, honestly.
There's
like,
a lot
low
on there.
key. I wouldn't know half the shit.
I need people, though, to cross-check their references.
Yeah.
Because people go on there and just say shit and don't know what they're talking about. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to be wrong. Like, you just have to go in and look. You can't look and see a video of one person doing one thing and be like, this is the answer. Like, check it out. Like, I did that. I was like, what is this? You know, what are different like spells for this, and I bought books right off the bat.
Right,
And I was like, I'm gonna read these. Like I had a friend that was like, oh, I want to get into witchcraft, and I was like, oh, read this book, and she's like, oh, I hate reading.
Okay, you hate reading.
Like, no. Yeah, I was like, girl,
you hate reading, but reading witchcraft stuff is actually so interesting and easy.
So interesting.
It's
I'm like,
really not that difficult.
It's not that difficult, and I'm like, also, if you really want to get into it, then a book wouldn't stop you from getting into it.
I'm sorry.
I bought a book right off. Well, also that too. I didn't just buy a random book. I looked up witchcraft books that were recommended and ones that were actually not recommended, because there's bad ones out there, or ones that even are not necessarily bad, but like have some bad points in them. So like, look up resources, see what people think about other things, like see what multiple different people think about multiple different books, and then make your decision based off of that. That's what I did. I got the guide to witchcraft, like some kind of guide
I have that too, the modern guide to witchcraft.
A modern guide.
Oh my god, that book is so good.
That book, I read the entire thing, and it was super like non-biased. Like it kind of talked about every edge.
I think everyone should read that damn book.
Everybody should read that. If you're into witchcraft, read the modern guide to witchcraft.
Even if you're not, because it helps you see. If you're against witches, it helps you see like
they're not like it's not that deep.
Oh my god,
it's not that deep. Like just take a deep breath. That's how I was like. It's not a big. I remember your mom found it or whatever, and you were like, "What?" I was like, "Just
like
tell her
you
to
should read it." Yeah,
like
no, the first
it's not
page
that big of a deal.
Draws you in.
Like it's so good. So I'm like, if you are interested in this stuff, then ask yourself, like, am I actually interested, or do I just want a boyfriend in 2 days? And that's why I decided I'm like, gonna be a witch, so I'm gonna light a candle. Like and then there's nothing wrong with liking the aesthetic of like witchcraft or whatever, but to just like, I don't know, to just say that you're into it but you're not is like a completely different thing.
Just like, for the aesthetic.
You can like the aesthetic. You can like the aesthetic, but to say that you want to like get into it and then you're not willing to do the work is like a completely different thing.
Right, which is why shadow work is the actual work, and it's
that's
hard work.
And it's ugly, and it's not cute. It's ugly. It's not cute.
Dealing with
you're probably gonna cry. Like it's not a fun time, but you have to like do it in order to like move on. Like you
not all glitz and glam.
It's not. And that's it. And that's the issue. I think people just want to like be able to do something without having to deal with like any of their emotions or any of like the whatever. And I get it, but it's like it's not. Well, it's just not gonna work then.
But that's how we filter out real witches. Yeah, like you're not willing.
And that's the fake witch craze that happens.
That's what we talked about like 5 episodes ago.
That's the aesthetic witches. And it's okay. Okay, I am honestly not mad at anybody who's like, I don't know anything about witchcraft. I just love the aesthetic, and I put like witch stuff in my house. Like, okay, that's fine. I honestly do not care. But it's another thing to be like, oh, teach me about witchcraft. Like, oh my god, like I want to like start doing that stuff. And then you're like burning stuff that you probably shouldn't be burning, like white sage or like. I don't know, like,
I had to learn that white sage.
Yeah, you like, and then you're like,
because isn't that indigenous? Or
yeah. And then
no, because why did the people at the witch store that we go to
they
tell me
sell
that?
It? No, because they sell it.
And why did I ask? I always ask. I go, what sage is best for cleaning? Because I'm like, let me get your opinion.
Because they're like, they recommended it.
Yeah,
to me.
I know, me too.
And I was like, you guys are white. Like, you can't be selling this. Like this is not okay. Like,
I thought they knew what they were talking about. Like, their altars were so.
I think they do. I think it's one of those things where it's just like capitalism is going to take over. So it's like, yeah, people are looking for sage because it's like the main.
But why
I like the way cedar smells more than sage.
Yeah, I don't know.
I burn cedar.
I actually don't like how white sage smells. It has a very.
It's too much. It smells like Thanksgiving.
It has a very like potent like.
I really like cedar though because it smells like the woods.
Oh yeah.
So I always buy cedar, but that's what I'm saying. Like people will like get into it and be like, "Oh, sage! Like I just need to burn sage to cleanse my space. Like I'm smudging. Like you're not smudging." Smudging is a close practice.
Like big mouth.
Like it's not. Like it's not. I do a really good Lola actually. That's
what I was thinking. You sound like.
But yeah, no, you have to like do your research. Do your research on herbs. Buy a book and read it. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But then don't say you want to get into witchcraft because you don't. You just like the aesthetic, and that's fine. But just say you like the aesthetic.
Wicca's definitely the most, like, research. Like, you have to research.
I am
like,
not a Wicca.
No,
because they have, like, the threefold where they're like, whatever you do bad comes back threefold. And I'm like, okay, well.
Oh.
Sometimes people need to get theirs.
Oh, no, I do actually think that bad things happen in threes. Just
really?
Because I've found that pattern in my life.
No, really?
Even
threes?
Before knowing that
actually, you're right. I feel like bad things do happen.
Even if it's little things,
it's...
I didn't realize.
But I guess everything's open to interpretation, too. Because, like,
True.
It could just be, like, if you actually do something, like, that doesn't deserve whatever, right? Because I've done, like, black magic. But I also do not feel like I've gotten... Yes, bad things have happened to me since then, but I don't think they've happened because of that. Yeah. And they weren't, like, awful things. Yeah. Like... So basically what I'm saying...
You're like, wait, I'm not a bad person.
Basically what I'm saying is, like, good and bad exist all at the same time, and that's okay. And you don't have to be, like, toxic
really all at the same time. Sometimes
fine.
At the exact same time.
Sometimes it's okay to scream at a penny and then leave it in somebody's car and hope that they, like, have a really bad day because of it. Like, I saw that.
Okay, but you've done way more black magic than that.
No, I haven't. Okay,
more than a penny?
I have never done the penny, but I want to try the penny because I saw that somebody was like, yell at a penny, like, tell it, like, wow, like, you, like, go off, like, in this penny, like, basically just vent into it and leave it in somebody's car because now it has all this, like, bad energy.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like a jinx. It's like, it's not like they're gonna get in a car crash or something, but, like, they'll, like, probably have, like, I don't know, drop their ice cream cone.
No, but in the book,
I get satisfaction from knowing that somebody. From knowing that somebody that fucked me over dropped their ice cream cone. That would make me happy. I'd be like, wow, all that money you wasted on ice cream and it's on the floor. But it's the little things for me. So some people, like, wouldn't, but it's fine for me.
So, like, I don't know if it was in the Modern Witchcraft, but the book. Or one of the books that I have wrote that it's literally hexing someone black magic. It's even black magic if you're in traffic and you're pissed about being in traffic and you're like, oh my God, like, I hope this person in front of me, like, you know, gets in a car accident, or like, I hate this traffic. Like, that's actually black magic in someone.
Yeah, no, it is.
You don't even realize
it's like jinx, though. Jinx.
Well, yeah.
Okay, but I looked this stuff up, okay, because I was like, I don't want to, like, be like, I'm not trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fuck up somebody's life. I'm just trying to, like, inconvenience the fuck out of you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that does enough for me. Like, some people, I guess it doesn't, and that's where they, like, are like, I'm gonna curse your family. But, like, that's enough for me. So, like, I did my research, like a lot of probably more than I need, like, not more than I needed to, but
can I have cheese slices?
Definitely did a lot of research. I was like, okay,
It says cracker. It says Cracker Cuts. No, the Cracker Cuts.
I literally don't.
I don't remember. The black magic hexing.
Do your research. Basically, yeah, I did my research before I did anything.
There was chili in the fridge, right? No one knows right now that we're like, this is our 3rd episode in of the night and our 5th glass of wine. Like, I don't even.
5?
I don't know.
This is 3.
Including this, though?
This is 3, including that. Because we had 1 and then we had another, and this is the 3rd.
1.
And am I going to finish this? Like,
yeah, we can't waste it.
Anyway, do your research before you do anything. First spell I ever did was protection. And that's a really good one to start off with, because no matter what you do in witchcraft, you're gonna need to protect yourself. So learn how to do a protection.
I think protection spells is literally like 2 simple steps. You just need like
I remember I was so scared.
A crystal that's gonna protect you, and then just say a little.
I was so scared, and not scared that something bad was gonna happen. I was scared that I was just gonna do it wrong, because like it was the first time. Because in the modern, how they like tell you about like drawing your like or not,
bro. The casting
a circle.
That my god! I was like, "There's no way it's this complex." Like I was shitting myself.
I mean, you don't have to necessarily do that every time for spell work, but like if you're gonna like sit down and do it, and it did make a difference for me. I felt like walls were up. Like I felt like I did it once. I felt like I was channeling. I was like, I could not do this every day. I was like, Jesus. And that's why, like, I see those things where it's like, you're still a witch if you never do spellcraft. You're still a witch if you you don't even know what phase the moon's in.
Sometimes I feel like shit, though, when I don't. I'm like, am I a witch? Like, I get all sad about it.
Like, you are. Like, but yeah, you really just have to, like,
they went in a depth. They were like, with the casting circle. They were like, north, south, northeast, southwest, and they were like, each node has a different like earth, air, fire, and you have to have an element for each one. And then it was
had everything out. I had incense. I was like literally, and then I felt like it was honestly so relaxing and so meditative, but also like took a lot of energy out of me at the same time, because I was like this is no joke. I was like putting intentions into my, and then oh my god, don't even get me started on when I forgot things that weren't in the circle, because they put that in the book.
You're like, am I allowed
they were like, it's fine, but like I did.
You're like, am I allowed to go outside of the circle real quick?
Like 2 times, I was like, we got to like draw.
Wait, what did you do?
I don't even know. I think I like drew a door or something.
No, you did. Not you in your room alone being like, draw a door. Can I go out?
I don't even know if I did that. Okay, I'm trying to
draw a door. Reach out. Reach back in.
Oh, I think I don't know what I did. I did something, but I did a thing where I stepped out of it and then I like closed it behind me.
And then you like switched.
And then I got my stuff and then I went back in, and then I was like, oh, this is annoying.
Yeah, no.
And then I needed something else. And then I was like, this is so much.
Literally took me so long to prep, because I was like, okay, I need this element, this element, this element, this element.
But it was also really nice, and I felt like it was effective. I don't know. It was like a fun time.
No, it was, because it was very strategic and very like, this is what it is. And it gave you like a full on guide to it, but I was like, wow. I could do this like once in a while.
Yeah, and I feel like it would be nice to do it once in a while, but also just like it's a lot. So like you just don't have to do that, but like do your research. Don't just like be doing shit. If you feel like you don't know what's going on, maybe read a book.
Yeah.
Like just read a book.
Literally Google it.
Do your shadow work. Ask yourself why you're doing this while you're doing, like, no matter what it is, even if it's a good thing.
True. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can kind of make it up in a way. But
you really can.
You were telling me that.
It's very mutable. Like, I put that on here, mutable. Which individualism in the craft. It's all up to you, really. I have like the green witches something. It's like a book about green witchcraft.
I think I have it too.
Wait. Yeah. And it has literally all the herbs in it. Oh yeah. Like ever.
Wait, did you get it from Five Below?
No.
Oh. I got like a pack of 3 from Five Below.
It's like I forget what it is, but it's like a green book, and it has like all these plants on it. And basically there's a section in it that's like all these herbs, but alphabetical. So like if I have something, I'm like, oh, I have mugwort, like what can I use it for? And it says like the properties underneath it, and a lot of them like cross over, obviously, like it's fine. But I'll like find, and so like I realized it's basically like mixing it up, because for me I wasn't gonna be able to like find somebody else's thing. I like thought about that a couple times, so I was like, it just doesn't feel real. Like if I feel like I need to like make it up myself.
Yeah, you can like switch it around.
I kind of like switched it around, and I was like, okay, I'll take what I have, like see what I have in the house, because like you don't need to go out and buy something to do a spell. Like,
I always think
I feel like, though, yeah, you literally, I mean, if you literally have nothing, maybe, but even then, you still can, like, just use your head. Like, it's all about intention. But, if you don't have something, there's always, like, something else that you could probably use, because a lot of herbs, like, cross over. So, yeah, just find, if you're like, oh, I want to do a protection, like, for example, I go to that book and I look under protection and I'll see like what I have, or like see if what I have has protection under it. And then I'll like mix those things together, like dress a candle in it.
Yeah.
Like think about it, light the candle, dance around my room, call it a day. Like you don't have to cast a circle. I'm sorry, casting a circle stresses me the fuck out. But it also is really nice, but it also stresses me out. Because then you can't leave the circle unless you say something in specific. No, it literally said that in the book. Like opening and closing the circle. I wrote it all down and I still was confused. I was like, where's my journal? I was like, I don't have it. It's outside the circle. I literally was. I was like, oh no, I need to go get it.
Tell me not thinking of the SpongeBob episode where they circled the bear. I literally was like, where do I... Everything was out. Everything, I swear, every single thing that I needed was outside the circle. I was like, all right, let's light this candle. Wait, I don't have a match. And then I was like, okay, back with the match. All right, what do I do next? Crap, my journal's outside the circle. Go get the journal. You're like at this point, I don't even know where the circle is.
No, literally, where is the circle? But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are so scared to do research.
Even though we have it at our
fingertips.
Just, like,
do it. Just, like, do it. It's so easy. Go on, like, ask one question in the Google search engine. Go on 5 different websites. Combine what they said. Leave what doesn't really make sense. And call it a day. Like, that's how you cross-check your references. Like,
it doesn't resonate.
Check the opposite of what you want to check, too. Like, if somebody says that something's good for something, see what it's bad for. Like, and make sure that it doesn't, cross over,
I went to Barnes & Noble the other day and I saw so many books. I was like, I want all of them. They're all like $17 though. And I'm like,
I know. I always make myself like get through what I have before I like go to the next one.
Ready? Picture this. A house one day, but then like our office library area, just a bookshelf of all crystals and witchcraft.
I have did I tell you I have a book that's called High Magic, and it's about weed and witchcraft.
No, what? Where'd you get it from?
Barnes & Noble. I literally, I'm only, a part way through it, but it starts off with, the history of weed, and I was, so intrigued, I just,
it's actually sick.
I haven't read it much because I've been at school, but I'm, once I, can delve into this is going to be so good because it talks about, intention, because I'm really interested in, mixing weed and witchcraft. Especially because I already mix herbs into my life.
Yeah, you're like, I already put herbs in that.
If I'm having a self-love night, if I'm feeling the self-love, vibe, then I'm gonna put rose petals in my weed. Why wouldn't I do that? No. Why wouldn't I put rose petals in my weed?
That actually, no, that tasted good, what you did, the rose petals.
Lavender is so good, too. I usually do lavender. Lavender doesn't even need to be ground up. So, when it was rose petals, I ground it up with the weed because it, was kind of big pieces.
Oh,
so,
tell me you used your...
I did use my grinder. No, I used my grinder. Actually, that would have been so funny. But, I'll show you the picture of it. It actually looked really pretty. But, and then with lavender, it's so small that you don't really have to grind it up. So I usually just put it in my bowl, at the base. Because I don't know why, but the holes in bowls are isn't it so cute?
It's so pretty.
The holes in bowls are so big, I feel like. So I usually just put a little bit of lavender at the bottom just to cover up the hole.
That's so cute.
A little, so weed doesn't fall through it.
Where are you getting this from? Your rose petals.
I get them from the witch store. And I actually asked, and this is the things, yeah. And I get them, and I asked, this is things that people don't think about, but you have to ask. I asked about, if these things were, okay to, ingest. If these herbs were okay to ingest, or if they had, pesticides on them. And they were like, oh, these are all good to make tea with. You can drink them. And I was like, cool, so I can smoke them. So,
wait, not buying, the tea ones, all the herbs that you can make in your tea, but putting in
That's actually a good idea, because then you automatically know it's safe.
Wow.
But I would get, honestly, the shit lasts me forever. I paid maybe, a little over like $2 for like a big thing of, not even a big thing, like an ounce of rose petals.
Which store here?
Like there's 2 of them. There's like a witch store that's like right across from where I live, and then there's like a witch store that's a little bit down. Yeah. Earthbound, and then
Earthbound, the one that we go to.
Well, then there's also like the
Is that where you got
side.
it from?
No, I got my rose petals from Earthbound. I got my mugwort from the Mystic side.
I'm so sad we didn't get a chance to go.
I know.
No, because I tried to look up, so the crystal store that I wanted to take you to, Crescent Cove or something.
Oh, yeah.
Literally closed Sunday, or like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday this week because of Martin Luther King. I was like,
oh,
how am I supposed to take her? How am I supposed to go? Oh, so annoying. But I haven't been, and it's so cute. And, like, Ave has bought so much stuff from there. Like, so many bracelets.
I love how she's just getting, like, indoctrinated. Oh. I literally was
No. Because never being the one where they make fun of me and then they be it.
No.
I
never thought about that, but you're so right.
Oh, my God.
Did Bray make fun of you before?
Oh, yeah. They're all like, what are you doing? What is going on?
And now Bray's, like, all in it.
Everybody's turning all. Ave has so many bracelets.
She's so adorable. I love her.
She's like got so many necklaces and bracelets racked up. But like, you guys are opening your minds now.
Give her the book. Be like, read this.
What's that thing about? What is it? Oh my God. We've entered 2023, which is the 7-year. Have you heard about this?
No. What? I'm so bad with, like, the...
Oh, my God. Something planets. About where... Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. That's just so gorgeous.
It's so pretty.
I'm like, it's so cute.
Oh, my God. I cannot remember. It's, like, 2023... 7-year... No, what is it? Spirituality. Oh, awakening. It's like 2023 will be a year of spiritual awakening. It's like this huge thing. And it's like, what is it? It's some like, I cannot remember it. But it's something. But do you know something happened 2020? The veil of like spirituality and like everyone started to be more conscious in 2020. Mm-hmm. There's, like, this whole, like, research on it. Bro. No, right? So I'm like, you know what's weird? 2019, like, November, December is when I, like, started my awakening. Then it hit all of 2020. And now I'm looking back, and I'm like, wait,
I'm like,
what?
She was a baby.
I was like, wait, so that was the beginning of when they said, like, there's something... I literally cannot remember it, but it's something that everyone's been posting, like, universal years. So we're in a 7 universal year, which invites us to embrace the energy of solitude, self-discovery, spirituality, and stillness. So they're saying this